Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a fun one because I am trying out a brand new product to me, and this is the Tati Beauty Blendiful. So I haven't even opened this up. I got this in the mail a couple days ago, so it's been hard not to open it up, but I wanted to open it up on camera with you guys. But basically the idea of this is that it is a product to apply your makeup with, and it's different than your typical sponge or brush that you would normally use to apply both liquid and powder, which from my understanding this applies both, and it's actually two different things in here. So with that being said, we're gonna dive in. I'm gonna open this up. We're gonna get started. As you guys can see, I've already applied my eye makeup, but I'm gonna use this to apply the rest of my face makeup. It comes in this cute little packaging. It says cleaning instructions: machine wash and dry in a Delicate's laundry bag, or gently hand wash in warm soapy water and rinse thoroughly to blot and dry. So I do like that you can wash this. It makes it more sustainable than using something like a makeup sponge that you would throw away. But again, it's probably just as sustainable as using a makeup brush or a beauty blender, because you wouldn't throw those away on a regular basis anyway. You would wash them just like you would this product. And on the back it says no harsh lines, XO's Tati. So I thought that was a little cute touch. So I am going to open the bag. First one is this little one, and then here is the big one. So these are called the Blendifuls. And so they have these little ribbons on the back that you can put your hand in and use it. And then here's the little one. So I think this one can be used for travel, but I think I'd also probably use this for like smaller parts of my face, like under my eyes, or if I'm trying to use it for contour or something like that. Just feeling them, this larger one's actually softer than this one. This one is a little bit like harder to press, but they're super soft and furry. They're kind of like, I don't know, like a stuffed animal or like a toy almost. I'm thinking of like a dog toy. You can take these and you can bend them into whatever shape you want to, depending on what you're using them for, and they just pop right back into their original shape as well. So with all of that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start using them. So the first thing I'm gonna use them for is primer. I'm using this Glassy Touch in Soul primer that I got in my BoxyCharm a couple months back. I think I'm gonna apply it to my face and then use these to blend it out, because these can be used with both liquid and powder products. And so I'm gonna actually use them to do all of my face makeup and see how it goes. So I'm gonna go back and forth between the two of these. To start, I do want to use the main one, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this to my face and then blend it out with the Blendiful. I think I'm just gonna use the corner. I guess I should slip my fingers in here. This is really small, like soft on the skin. Feels nice. Okay, so my primer's on, and really, I don't think this soaked up that much of it. Like, I can feel it on here, but this doesn't feel like damp or anything, and it doesn't look like the fluffiness has gone down because I got wet putting my primer on. So I think that's a really good sign. I'm curious to see how much product this soaks up as compared to like a sponge, because like here is a sponge that I've only used once and I need to wash, but like you can obviously see all the products sitting on there, whereas I don't know what this one is going to be like in regards to how much product sits on there. So I'm curious to see how that works. So let's get into that. Let's put on some foundation. I'm gonna use my Uoma Say What Weightless Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. And I'm just going to put it on how I normally do, which is the back of my hand, and then I just dot it on my face, and then I will blend out with the Blendiful. I'm gonna take a different corner and I'm gonna start working this in. I have seen a couple videos where people are saying to dab, and then I've seen one where someone says you should swipe. So I'm gonna kind of do my own thing and just do a mix of both, because I think that's probably the best way to use it instead of just depending on one. Because I think with swiping you could potentially, I think you could get like the swipe marks with this. But I think if you just pat it, you're not gonna get it blended everywhere. I normally apply my foundation with a brush. I am a brush girl. I know a lot of people who try these out are more used to using sponges. So I'd say if you are used to using sponges, this takes about the same amount of time as a sponge. If you're used to using a brush, I honestly would say that this takes longer, just because you're not just swiping and buffing, but you're also patting the product in. Now that foundation isn't super full coverage, so I'm not 100% sure if it's the Blendiful that's shearing it out a little bit, or that's just the layer of the foundation that I put on that is making it a little bit sheer. But I'm gonna put a little bit on. I have like a blemish right here, so I'm gonna put a little bit on there. And then I'm actually gonna take the smaller one, the more dense one, and see if that helps with coverage on this. And it did. So I think if you're trying to get anything with a little bit more coverage, you might want to just dab and use this one, just because it is like a little bit like thicker or harder. I think it helps with putting in that extra little bit of coverage on. Overall though, I think my skin looks pretty nice. I'm just gonna bring my mirror. Yeah, I think my skin looks pretty nice. It looks pretty smooth. So I'm pretty happy with that. I do think though, like, just bring my mirror a little bit closer, that I am gonna put a little bit more coverage on this side as well. Blend it out with the bigger one. This also smells really good. At first I thought it was my foundation, but it's not. It's the Blendiful. Also, I am preferring to hold it, not putting my fingers underneath here. I just like to hold it above that. I don't know if this is like super needed, but it was obviously a branding opportunity for them to put their name on the actual product, and I think that's probably more the reason why than actual functionality of the little ribbons. Okay, so now that my foundation is on, I'm going to move to concealer. So I'm just going to use the Boing Benefit Cakeless Concealer, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this on, and I'm going to use the smaller Blendiful to blend out my concealer, which I feel like this is moving faster than using the bigger one on my foundation, and maybe that's just because I put on like a very little amount of concealer, but just in general, that I felt like this one just blended that out way faster. Oh, but a little fuzzy came off of it. That's the first one I've seen though, from either sponge. And I just called it a sponge, but from either Blendiful, sorry. That's just like habit. I'm actually just gonna take this one along everywhere. I'm almost preferring this one. Oh, but there's another shedding piece up there. Oh, and right here. Oh my goodness, okay. Okay, so you can definitely now see with the foundation that it's kind of got stuck on this side, which the problem with that is like that's a whole third of it, because this takes up the back side. I guess you could use like this side and like up here, but like you have less real estate because of the ribbon. And so with less real estate, if you're using this for foundation and you're using other side for powder products, you could basically fill this up with product, and you wouldn't want to use it again the next day without washing it. So something to consider. I mean, then again, we do that with brushes all the time though, is fill them up with product and not wash them as often as we should. But I guess there's just something about the way this looks, that it looks like it's sturdy more so than like a brush would, but that's just my opinion on that. All right, I'm going to use my Coty Airspun powder. So this is a loose powder, so I'm curious to see how this is going to work, but I just have this here and I'm just gonna dunk a little bit in here. So it does pick up a lot. And I'm gonna start with my under eyes. I'm just gonna do a little bit and set that, which I think that actually looks really nice. So I like this. I mean, even from just doing that little bit, I really like this for setting my face. And I set my whole face when I put on foundation, just because otherwise I tend to get more greasy than I prefer. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face with this and the powder. So it's kind of funny because I saw this product being more used in replacement of like a beauty sponge and mostly used for liquid products. But honestly, after setting my face with that powder, I feel like it gives a really flawless finish. And now again, I haven't formed my full opinions on this, but I think I probably lean towards more using this for powder products like loose setting powder, just because of how nicely it packed it on my skin, but it still looks really natural. My face just looks really smooth and not like pores, or you can't really see any of that. So I'm a big fan of that for sure. So next I'm gonna grab some contour. This is just Java from the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. And I'm going to use the smaller Blendiful and just get some of this on the corner, or actually kind of like this, and use it to carve out. We'll see how that goes. Not sure how well that worked, to be honest. Maybe I'll do the other. Okay, so I just took it up to this side, and now I've got a lot more product. This one's, to be honest, is still shedding a lot, which is kind of frustrating to work with. I'm gonna go back to this one. I'm gonna try folding it. I don't know, that looks like super harsh, which is not my vibe, but I'm assuming I can probably just blend. It's kind of making it look patchy. I don't know. I'm not in love with this for using it for bronzer right now. Plus, I feel like it's taking a really long time. I mean, maybe I'm just using it the wrong way, but I also just feel like it's taking a really long time to lay down the color and blend it out, like way longer than using my brush. Now, part of that's obviously I'm way better and more, well, not way better, but I have way more experience using a brush and doing this. So I think that's probably just part of it, is like there's certainly a learning curve and I have to figure out the best way to use this for me for things like bronzer and stuff. I don't know. I'm up in the air on using it for bronzer right now, just due to this experience. But again, I should probably just practice. I'm swiping more up here rather than patting, and I think that is turning out better. Although I feel like I'm swiping really hard, which might disrupt my foundation underneath, which I certainly don't want to do. But the blend, doing it that way, I think looks a lot better. Okay, after doing the rest of my bronzer, I'm still not in love with using this product for bronzer, to be honest. I am now going to move on to blush. So I actually have a couple other items in this video I want to show you that I picked up from Ulta, and one of them is this Buxom blush in the shade Wanderlust. I saw Kathleen Lights talking about this and she swatched it and it looked stunning, so I picked it up. And I've only used it once, but it has a lot more pigment than a lot of the brushes that I normally use do, so that's just something to keep in mind. But I'm gonna try this with my Blendiful, so I'm just gonna take this end and I think I'm gonna pat this on rather than like swipe it, because I don't want it to be super pigmented, because this blush, like I said, the first time I tried it on, I was like, whoa. So honestly, I like the application of the blush, just patting it on and kind of doing that light touch. I think that looks really nice. Certainly better than how I feel about the bronzer on my face. So I do like this for a little light blush. I think it looks really natural. And I also really like this blush. All right, next is highlight. So I'm actually going to try a liquid highlight with this. So this is the Tarnis Pro Glow highlight. I believe I got this in one of my BoxyCharms. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. I'm still going to use this one because I do still want to have a light hand. I'm just going to take like this little corner. And I'm going to apply this right to the Blendiful and see how that goes. I don't think I moved fast enough, so we're going to do a little bit more. Ah! I feel like that's a little intense, so. And this like dries super fast, oh my gosh. Don't love it, but I think it might be more this product than the sponge, just because I feel like this like dried really fast on my face. We tried that one. I'm gonna try a powder highlight on the other side. This is just the MAC Soft and Gentle, and I'm just going to take my Blendiful. Yeah, this is a much lighter application, even than like with a brush, I feel like, but also a little bit more like concentrated in like a specific area. Like I feel like I'd get more highlight on when I use a brush, but this is like right there. I'm just gonna fix the other side with a little bit of Soft and Gentle so we're matching. I do prefer using a powder highlight with the Blendiful. I do think that looks nice, similar to how I feel about doing it with blush. I think it looks pretty nice on the face, I will say. Well, that is all of the products that I am going to apply with this. So what I'm going to do is just put my brows on, finish my eyes, and then I'll come back and we'll set my face. And then I will tell you my final thoughts on the Blendiful, and then I will run through a couple of things that I picked up at Ulta in addition to that Buxom blush that I just showed you. So I'll see you guys in like, well, 1 second for you, but like 5 minutes for me. Okay, I am back to give you guys my final thoughts on the Blendiful. So I did enjoy overall using this product. Certainly the larger one more than the smaller one. I preferred this for concealer, but that's it. Other than that, I preferred the larger version. And I enjoyed this for foundation. I thought it worked well for foundation. It just took longer than normal, but again, I think there is a bit of a learning curve just in general. And then I particularly liked this for applying my loose powder. I think that is like my go-to for using this product. If I'm going to use this, I'm definitely using it for that. So loved it for that. I thought this was fine for concealer. I enjoyed using it for that. In regards to then other powders on my face, I use this for bronzer. I don't think I'll ever use it for bronzer again, to be honest, unless like I see a technique that really makes sense and I try it out and it works for me. But just like the few different ways I tried to use both of these for my contour and bronzer, it just didn't work. The blend wasn't right how I wanted it to be, and I didn't like how it was working. So again, there might be a technique that I am missing, which again, I would not be surprised about that. And so if there is, I certainly will try it out. But just first impression, didn't enjoy it for bronzer. I did like it for blush because it just like patting the blush down really lightly. It worked really well for that. But that is a super pigmented blush. If I was using a less pigmented blush, I think it would be hard to get any kind of color payoff unless I was really like digging in the product, which I wouldn't. So maybe for like any blushes that have a lot of color to them, using that for this. And then I tried this with liquid highlight. I don't know if it was this product or the liquid highlight, but I felt like it just dried down really fast and it was kind of like a patchy application. I used this for powder highlight. I thought it looked nice, but I think I still prefer to use my brush. So that is where I am at with these. I like it overall for sure, and the fact that it costs $18 and I'm supporting Tati, who gives lots of free content out for a really long time, I like as well. So I definitely will continue to use these, like I said, especially for laying down powder. I just really think it made my face look flawless when I did it then, at least. I don't know how you guys feel just looking at me right now, but that's how I felt when I used it for that. And like I said, I had a couple of products that I want to share with you guys. So I did share with you earlier this new Buxom blush that I picked up, and that's what I'm wearing today. And then the other couple of makeup things that I got from Ulta are actually mascaras. So I picked up this It Cosmetics / Blowout mascara. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. I'm actually wearing it today. I think it looks really pretty. I like it a lot. And then I've been having just a lot of issues with my lower lash line, like my mascara like smudging, and I don't know what's going on and why, but I heard someone was talking about the Clinique lower lash mascara and how it prevents like any sort of smudging. So I am just trying this out to see if that is what the issue is, because I come home from work and Mark's like, did you get punched in the face today? And it's, I mean, it's not that bad, but like I like throughout the day have to like wipe away there, which is annoying and not a good look. So I'm gonna try that out. And then I also picked up this Firmex peeling gel. So I got a like membership to a spa, so I can go once a month and either do a facial or I can do a massage, or I can pay more and do both or whatever, but the amount I pay gets me one or the other. And I went in for a facial like a couple months ago, and she was asking what kind of exfoliants I use, and I just used like a physical one, and she was like a scrub, and so she was trying to sell me what they have there, which is very similar to this. So I ended up just picking it up at Ulta because I've heard really good things about it, and she was trying to sell me like the peeling gel exfoliant there as well. But basically you put this on your skin and it rolls off your dead skin, which is what she was using at the spa as well. This is quite expensive. This was like $48, but I had a gift card, so I feel less bad about it. And I've used it once, and it does, like, I read some reviews and people are saying it's actually like just the product falling up, but my face felt really, really soft after. We're gonna have to keep using it. And then if you spent a certain amount during that time, you also got this little kit from Sunday Riley. So this is like just more travel stuff for me, honestly, but I figured I'd share it with you guys because it came free with my order. So this is their ceramic slip cleanser. So this is like a face wash, so that's awesome because I'll just throw that in my travel bag. I can always use a face wash for traveling. They have this retinol sleeping night oil, so I'll probably use this here as opposed to traveling, just because retinol, I don't know how my skin's going to react to that. There's this Good Genes lactic acid treatment, and then it also came with the CEO vitamin C rich hydration cream, which again, these two would definitely go in my travel bag for when I need them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and just getting to see my opinion on my first time using the Tati Beauty Blendiful. Like I mentioned earlier, hopefully I did. I purchased this myself, so it was just kind of an opportunity to share with you guys how I would use it and to see, you know, what I thought about it using it for the first time, because I've never really used a tool like that before. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.